Do you want an AFK Fish Farm base that is not only got the farm, but it's also got the storage and the rubbish disposal as well, and is safe from horrible things like phantoms, so you can AFK to your heart's content? Don't you go anywhere, I'm going to show you how. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on what time you're watching this next episode from me, Avomance, in my farm tutorial series. This is an AFK fish farm. No, not a cow farm, an AFK fish farm, but it's an AFK fish farm base. This is going to have the storage for you, and it's also going to have the garbage disposal. You know, when you get all of those half-used leather boots and the excess rubbish that you don't really want, this is going to automatically dispose of that for you as well. It is completely open at the top to maximise your fishing experience, but it is safe from phantoms. I'm going to show you how to make it right now. This farm is really survival friendly, so for the entirety of the base bit, not just the farm at the top, you need one redstone torch, one redstone comparator, two redstone repeaters, four redstone dust, one dropper, one dispenser, one button, one bucket of lava, one lever. I've got 7 hoppers. You can have less or more depending on how big you want the farm to be. One less barrel than the number of hoppers you've got. If you want additional storage barrels around your base, that is also good, or even chests if you wish. About half a stack of structural blocks, one note block, 3 signs, one wooden fence, doesn't matter what wood it is, one bucket of water, one pressure plate, again doesn't matter what wood it is, one iron trap door, a cat or two, you can get those from a nearby village with a fish, dead easy to catch a cat. Enough ladders to get to the top. Maybe you want some scaffolding, it's entirely optional. A crafting table, so as you can make yourself a first fishing rod with 3 sticks and 2 bits of string. And an anvil, maybe not straight away, but eventually you will definitely need one because you're going to want to combine enchantments. Before you do anything, prepare your area. A crafting table, an anvil, which you'll need later on. It is optional, but I find it very, very useful. And also some storage barrels. You could use chests, it's entirely up to you. And then decide where you want the base of your farm to be. Make sure it's far enough away from your area there that you're not going to get in the way of yourself. Pop down a temporary block, could be wool, could be wood, doesn't matter. And lift it up 1 away from the floor. And then come down 1 and 2. Then get yourself a dropper and put the dropper facing downwards into that piece of dirt right underneath your temporary block. Dig the bit out there, dig that bit out there, and get a dispenser and have that facing into the same hole. Then come out of the side and then dig 2 holes either side of that. So you can see your dispenser is there and you've got a 2 wide hole there. You want to get yourself a sign and pop yourself a sign right there. That is going to help us later. Grab your first hopper and put it pointing into the side of that dropper over where the sign is. Then come along 1 and 2, put a block there and a redstone torch on that block. Then put a lever on top of that block. That will allow you to lock this hopper, which is going to be really important with this functionality of the build. Get a redstone comparator and have it coming out of the dropper along the side of this 2 wide channel. Get a block so as the comparator runs into a block, and a repeater coming out of that block so it sucks the signal that this comparator pushes into it. If you've got something in this dropper, so for example if I put something in there, you'll see that a signal is sucked out by the comparator, goes into the block and comes out to the repeater. Obviously not actually doing anything yet, so we need that to start to get a little bit more redstone active. Put a repeater going back into that dropper, and we want to create a redstone clock that is going to cause the signal to pulse on and off, and we achieve that by putting a redstone T right there. You can see it's like a T shape. That means that signal will go into the side of the comparator. The comparator will compare the strength of the signal between it going into the side and coming out the back. And because it's got a different strength, it will decrease the signal of the redstone and ultimately turn itself off. That will turn this redstone line off, which will mean that it will create a pulse going through this repeater into that dropper. And then if I put something into the dropper, you'll see it just drops and drops and drops and drops and drops and drops and drops until it is completely empty. Let's take that out there. That's why this little channel here is important. We can go in and collect our stuff. Grab your first barrel, and again remember you could use a chest here if you wish, and put it on top of that hopper, and then put a hopper going into the barrel from this direction, so coming out the back of the barrel, so it's kind of across and above this dispenser here. And then you want to start to tower up. You press crouch and jump, and then again jump. This will put you on the same level as the top of these barrels. Remember, this was a temporary block, but maybe if you've used wood or whatever, you might want to keep it. It's entirely up to you. Place a barrel on top of that hopper, pressing crouch click, and press a hopper pointing into the barrel. Come up again, press a barrel on top of the hopper, and a hopper going into that barrel. Remember to press crouch or shift click. So continue this up as high as you want it to be. I would suggest any more than 6 is probably unnecessary, but you can go 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 levels if you so wish. Once you've gone as high as you want, I've come up 6. Build a platform around the top hopper like this using your wood or stone or whatever it is you've decided to make of it. And on the side with the barrel, put a note block. Remember to press shift or crouch click when you put a note block. Get yourself a fence post. It does not matter what wood the fence post is. Just grab yourself a fence post and again a crouch click and pop it on the top of that hopper, and then get yourself 3 signs, and you want to put a sign on each side of this fence post. 1, doesn't matter if you put any writing on it, 2 and 3. That's perfect. Grab yourself a bucket of water and waterlog that fence post. You'll notice that the fence post has only got a connecting fence to the note block, which means this entire surface here is fishable, and it means it's far more efficient. Then come out and make this area ever so slightly larger. This is just so as you've got a little bit of room to breathe. It's not essential by any stretch of the imagination, but I find it's just a little bit nicer to have an area that you can walk around. And then on top of this, put yourself an iron trap door on top of the note block with, again, crouch click. And then finally put a wooden pressure plate on top of that fence post. This is essentially a completed fish farm. Now, if you've towered up the way I have, you'll have some solid blocks going up like that. I find it's a good idea if you put a block above that comparator there, and then you can have ladders going from that block there so mobs can't get up, and you can put ladders up so you can easily access your platform. Now you have some choices now. You can, if you wish, put a roof over this or block it in so you become safe from phantoms, or you can have it open air. Now having open air is risky. If you're AFK and you're battering away your fishing rod, phantoms overnight, if you've not slept for a few nights, will come and eat your face. However, there is a solution, and that solution is a couple of tamed cats. Now, if you've managed to find a village, which isn't normally very hard in survival Minecraft, tame yourself a couple of cats and bring those cats up here to the top of your AFK platform. Phantoms are scared of cats, and they'll start to dive bomb you. They'll see these furry felines and they'll think better of it, and they'll leave you alone. It's absolutely brilliant. So this is where the crafting table comes in handy. You need 3 sticks and 2 bits of string, and you do that by going 1, 2, 3 and 2 bits of string, bang bang, 1 fishing rod. Now you're not going to have enchanted fishing rods at the start, but it will not take you very long to get some. So start with a standard fishing rod. You'll notice I've not done anything with this dispenser underneath here. This is deliberate. Come along here, go back up to the top of your AFK farm, and what you're going to do is you're going to come right up next to this sign, but not onto it, so as you flick that so as it turns off. That makes sense? You come close as you can, but don't turn it on. And then aim at the very end of the plate and cast your rod. And what happen is move your mouse around a little bit, and once you get yourself onto the note block, you can see the cursors on the note block, that will allow you to just fish and fish and fish and fish. I'm holding my right mouse button down, and when I catch something with my standard rod, what's going to happen is exactly that. That flap will flap down, it will break the fishing line, which will cause me to reel my thing in and then automatically flap it back out again, and whatever I caught will be stuck in that water, and the hopper will collect it up and suck it down all the way down that hopper barrel, barrel hopper, hopper barrel system, right down to the bottom barrel. I've come back down to the bottom, and if we look in this bottom barrel, you can see right there, that was the fish that I just caught. And it's not moving into the hopper underneath the barrel because this redstone torch is keeping that hopper locked. The reason for this will become clear towards the end of the video. Now generally, AFK means that you move away from your keyboard, so to keep your finger pressed down on your right mouse button isn't really an AFK solution. So what you need to do is rebind your right mouse button key. That could not be more simple. Come into your options menu and go to controls. Scroll down ever so slightly and you'll see the gameplay section here. Attack, destroy, left button, pick block, middle button, and use place block, right button. Click that and press a key that you can keep pushed on your keyboard. For example, enter. It's a nice big key and nothing else is bound to it. Press done and done and back to game. And now if I press my right mouse button, nothing happens. However, if I press my enter key, it immediately casts. Now all I need to do is find something to keep my enter key pushed down. Now you could use, I don't know, depends on the conformation of your keyboard. I guess you could use a golf ball, you could use a paperweight. I sometimes use a biro with a small notebook on top of it and it works beautifully. And you can walk away, have your dinner, go and see your gran, do whatever it is you'd like to do. And this fella will keep on bashing out without you having to worry. And eventually you'll get some really quite cool stuff. Eventually, your cheap fishing rod is going to run out of durability and you are going to have it just disappear. But you'll notice you've already got quite a lot of XP. So you can use that XP if you've been lucky and managed to catch some enchanted rods. Unfortunately, I haven't, but I have got string and sticks, which means I can make another normal rod and keep going until I do catch an enchanted rod. Now, when I have caught an enchanted rod, I can combine them in the anvil to give myself really good rod enchantments, and they are lure, mending and luck of the sea. I've got a fishing rod here with mending, luck of the sea 3, which is maximum, and lure 3, which is maximum. Mending will mean that the rod fixes itself with the experience that you gain from fishing, so it effectively means you can AFK infinitely without worrying about a broken rod. Luck of the sea increases the chances of you catching something good rather than just a fish or fishing trash. Lure increases the speed at which you actually get a bite. Now you have a random chance between 5 and 45 seconds that you're going to get a bite from your fishing rod. Lure 1 decreases that by 5 seconds, Lure 2 decreases it by 10 seconds, and Lure 3 decreases it by 15 seconds, which actually means you can get hits where it would normally have been generated between 5 and 15 seconds immediately. So that is a significant improvement on the amount of stuff you can catch. So I am going to AFK now for what would be a normal person's perhaps overnight AFK session for maybe between 6 and 8 hours. And then we're going to check to see what loot we get with this rod for after a 6 to 8 hour fishing session. Are we ready? Let's go. So I've been going for a little over 8 hours, about 8 hours and 20 minutes to be precise. And you'll notice a couple of things. First you'll notice is that my inventory bar is full, including some stuff that's quite glowy. Secondly, you'll notice that I've got 66 levels of XP. So that is quite a significant XP provider. I did not die as a result of phantoms, because the cats kept me going. I did flip to survival after I closed the last one because I realised I was in creative when I was about to go AFK. So I flipped to survival and as a result, we are all good. So let's go and see what we've got. But before that, we need to put our controls back to normal. So hit enter and right mouse button and that will turn your game back to the way it normally is. Change your inventory to something that's not a fishing rod and that will undo everything. And then go and see what we've got in our barrels. So I'm just going to come down here. And before I look, I'm just going to see what I've got in my inventory. So obviously I've got the stuff that I've made it out of. I've also got an enchanted book there, an enchanted book there. I'm going to put the enchanted books in this barrel. And then we're going to start to look through these other barrels and see what we've managed to get. I'm going to stand on here so as I can reach them all. So in this one, we've got all of these items here. We've got a number of bows, quick charge, fire aspect 2, sharpness 2, so a couple of books there as well. We've got another bow in there. We've got another bow in there. Lots and lots of saddles, you'll see. We've got some mending book, whoop whoop, and there. So you can see all the way up we've got lots of different stuff. We've now got some more fishing rods as well, so we could make more fishing rods should we ever lose this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sort out the inventory from these barrels, put them in these barrels, and then we can see more clearly what we've got of everything. So I have sorted these out into a number of different things. Now, I've not got a barrel for everything. Some things are sharing. But for example, in that 8 hours and 20 minutes session, so whilst I was sleeping, basically, I got 15 leather. I got 17 rotten flesh, 21 bones. I got 13 string. I got almost a full barrel of cod and salmon. I got nearly 5 stacks of puffer fish and half a stack of tropical fish. I got nearly a stack of name tags and nearly a stack of nautilus shells. I got nearly a stack of lily pads. I got a whole barrel worth of enchanted bows. I got a whole barrel of saddles. I got 10 water bottles. I got 12 tripwire hooks, 17 bowls and 7 sticks, an entire barrel full of enchanted fishing rods, and when it comes to enchanted books, an entire barrel and a little bit. And if we look at the books that we've got, they are, some of them, quite nice books to get as well. So multi-shot there is always nice. Efficiency 4, respiration, unbreaking, another unbreaking there with some blast protection as well. And in this one, a mending book and another one. So all in all, for one 8-hour session, you are pretty set. But that is not all. I've also, if I check these, look, these are all now empty. But this is not empty. I've got a load of boots, some extra saddles, and extra bows and fishing rods as well. But I've not got space for these guys. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of them. I just want to throw them away, and I don't want to move them to my inventory and walk a bazillion miles and store them in some dump chest. I will just want rid of them. So to get rid of them, all I need to do is flip that lever. That will then open up that hopper, which will in turn spit them all out into there. And if I'm absolutely confident that everything there I want to get rid of, I can then get myself over here, take out that block, go into this dispenser, prime it with that bucket of lava that I had earlier, and get the button, pop the button on there. The reason I didn't do that earlier is because I didn't want to shoot the lava out by accident. But once you've got it sorted, you can just, I don't know, get yourself perhaps some trap doors or something like that, which will be really annoying when the button gets pushed because they'll flip, and put them there, and that can protect your button or something. If I put that there as well, you ain't getting into that button now, and then you can press that button and it flaps everything. You maybe don't want to put those on, that was just on spec. And then you can whop the button like that, and the lava gets sucked back in. Everything, or apart from those things there, which can then go straight back into the hopper, sometimes they just flip straight out, are ready and able to be destroyed by that lava. No problems with them anymore. If you really wanted to, you could get a trapdoor here as well to block that off, so as it's not just a hole. Open the trapdoor and you can go in and collect the items that perhaps you mistakenly put in the dropper. You didn't mean to, they were here. There was a mending book and you didn't see it, and it's gone down there, and you're thinking, oh no, please don't die. So you can pop in and grab that. One really simple, super survival friendly AFK Fish Farm base. Not just the fish farm, but the collection system and the disposal system for all the rubbish you don't want as well. I have put a world download in the description below, so you can come and have a quick look around it, although it is an absolute doddle, let's face it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying it, and I will keep on making them. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye. The cow's coming in to have a look.